What's going on, people? It's Mr. back again, and
I'm fucking here. Shut up. Fucking laughing. Come on, bring it on, Forrest fans.
oh god, I've been looking forward to this.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure
this
you have.
morning. And got some, well, anyway, how's everyone feeling today? I've got a hangover. Oh, I don't want to talk to Des, but you can just tell. Look at Des's face. His face is just—it's next level. We've got Molly and El
already.
next to me.
Already.
How are you feeling, Molly? How are you feeling?
I'm all right.
El, how are you feeling, El?
I'm feeling great. I'm still young. I don't get hungover.
Wait, Des. Wait, Des. How are you feeling, Des?
I'm feeling fine, though. I'm on Clyde Brennan Johnson.
Last but not least, he's been getting trolled on Twitter, left, right, and center. Lee.
I'm feeling bloody magic. Bloody magic. Listen, I said it when I came on the show before. Blackpool are safe. Right?
No. We're
not bothered. I told you at the time, this is just a free hit. It doesn't really matter. We're not going up. We're not going down. We're above the Nobbers. They lost to Derby. It was a great day. We've got to play them on Tuesday, and you could have asked any Blackpool fan before that game. Would we rather lose to Forrest or lose to Preston? And I can tell you now, we'd have taken it any time. Lose against Forrest, beat Preston, beat the Nobbers, and we're over the moon.
Right. The question is, right, we'll talk about that because it's been the biggest debate. Me and Lee had this preview show beforehand.
Beat the bastard kids.
People in the comments now, who's better? Don't start, brother. We know the answer. We don't need to because Lee just went own up to it.
I wasn't disputing the fact that one was better. I was disputing the fact that he was 10 times better. That was the thing that 10 times better, really. I don't know whether he is 10 times better. I don't know because I don't watch him every week, and you don't watch Bowler every week, so you don't know whether he's 10 times better, and I don't either. And we don't know in the future which one's going to go on to greater things. Nobody knows. Bowler could, be like Tony Green and break his leg in next year and never play again. There's no guarantees in life, but he played very well. Forrest were very good. You were the better team. We gave you the game. You won't get an easier match in your life than what you got against Blackpool. We were
he doesn't give up with it.
No,
terrible.
Quite easy.
Yeah, Leicester were worse.
Don't forget about Leicester.
Right, Leicester were worse.
Hang on, Adam Asser. When Blackpool fans were leaving the league, was that because there was a fire drill? Yes, exactly.
Lee.
Did you not hear the fire alarm?
Right, I'm going to mute him because he's not listening. Look, right. Right, people, let me talk. Right, because he's upset. He's getting emotional, and that's all it is. Right, Lee, can I unmute you now, Lee? Right,
yeah.
Now he's unmuted.
Right, go on, speak. I'll let you speak.
Right,
go on. It's your show.
Des, how you feel about the result, Des?
Absolutely over the moon. To be 3 goals up inside half an hour. Away game, best weekend of the season. Absolutely loved it. Even without the result, we'd have had an amazing time with flying. And then to go along and witness that, Brennan Johnson masterclass. What else could we ask for? Best player in the league, never mind best player at Forrest or better than Bowler. Absolutely brilliant. Turned the game on its head, didn't he? Andy set up the other goal, set up the first goal. So what more can you ask for from a quality player?
Actually, what about you, El? I'll get you next. How are you feeling, El? You haven't got a hangover. You're not like Des, have you?
No, I'm great. If I'm completely honest, I do not remember much of the first half. I can't lie, but I'm okay. I'm young and I'm feeling amazing.
She slept all the way there and she slept all the way home. Doesn't remember the first half.
Oh, dude. I've seen a picture of you, Bob.
That was on Lee's blog.
that was on Lee's vlog. Bloody hell.
It was a screenshot of a little video clip. When we scored the first, and then I thought, the way we're playing, we're probably going to score 4 or 5. I don't know why, but I kept needing to go to the loo, and on our side of the ground, they just had these portaloos. So I walked down to the front, and I thought, I'm not going to go to the loo until the ball's gone out of play. So I stood near the corner flag when we scored the second goal. So I was celebrating all on my own down there, and then on Lee's block, I could see this little old man jumping around like a nutter. I think I broke my finger because I got these weird metal barriers. And as we scored, I put my arms up and smashed it on this barrier. And this policeman behind me was laughing his head off, just going, I bet that hurt. Was it worth it? And I was still jumping around going, yeah, of course it was. It was just really good fun. It's a joke of a stand, but it was quite
fun. Of course it is, yeah.
Weird, and it's like the rest of the ground is actually quite nice, isn't it? But
you have to remember that we had the Oystons in charge, and we've only just got let it back, go, but there's so much needs doing. That stand is now passed with the council. It's going to all be done, but it's still years away. There's housing behind that's all got to be bought out, the little terraced housing. It's a massive job, and Blackpool's been neglected. It's
only little.
What's only little?
The ground. And what you need to do,
it is only little, but it wouldn't be little if it had a big stand where your stand is, would it?
Well, if it's the same size,
if we had a 2-tier stand where you were, it would be quite a decent ground. If you imagine your stand being the main stand and the rest of the ground being the back of the stand,
I see, yeah,
then it would be quite good, wasn't it? But at the moment,
it'd be very nice.
We threw up I don't know if you went to the ground before they actually built that stand. Of course, they had to for the Premier League. They added the Gene Kelly stand, the Singing in the Rain stand. It's like a golf bloody stand. If you'd have been citing that, you would have been complaining. So it's a million times better than it was, but it's typical Oyston shit. Yeah. That's why we got rid of him.
Lee, can I ask a question for you? Why have you got the 2 games behind you? Why have you not got the game from yesterday behind you?
Well, George, just for you, I've got the DJ Campbell there for you.
But I don't see that.
I'll put that on for you, Dore, obviously. And the other one's just a highlight of showing you how good Josh Bowler is. As you can see, you can see all these. These are for you, Dore. I've worked all day on this.
No. Show us some clips.
I knew you'd love to see DJ Campbell again. I'm making sure you've seen all these great goals.
Right, no.
To remind you, you've done nothing since we got to the Premier League.
Stanley Matthews up while you're at it.
Listen, Dore, we went to the Premier League. We've been all the way down to the bottom league. We've come all the way back to the Championship. We've got rid of owners. We've had 5 years away from football, and you're still exactly in the same place you were when we saw you 12 years ago. So what have Forrest done since then? You're just in the same position you were when we beat you in 2010. We've been to hell and back since then. You've gone nowhere, have you, in 12 years?
Let's talk about your
I don't see why you're so good. You seem to think you're really good, but
we gave you a hiding. We backed you twice this season.
Yeah, you did yesterday. I agree. You absolutely did, Dore. But over these 12 years, what have you been doing? Because we've been to hell and back in those 12 years.
I don't think that's something to be proud of, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Have you not heard
I'm not proud of it.
Forrst?
We've been to hell and back. But in that time that we've been through, 12 years, I can't even talk about. You haven't really done anything.
Right. Let's talk about yesterday's game. What did Blackpool? Right, this is embarrassing to you. Like we wasn't great. Let me ask Des.
Second gear.
We beat you 4-1. Des, talk to him, Des. We wasn't great, was we, Des?
You didn't need to get out of second gear, did you? We gave you the game.
Yeah, but
you'll never have any. You'll never get 3 easier goals in. Well, one was a massive deflection, which was a bit lucky, wasn't it? It was just a fluky deflection for the first one.
Lee, if you're saying to me, we've got nothing to play for, we can't get relegated, we can't get in the playoffs.
No.
that's embarrassing to you lot fans. Then you should go to a game and thinking, "Oh, let's give Forrest a game."
Well, we did. We set up to give you a game. Critch actually went all out attack. It was a disaster.
According to him, you were the better team. According to that weird interview he did.
At times we played really well and we missed loads of chances. What are the stats? Have you got the stats there of the game, Dor? I'd like to see the stats of the game to see how superior you were.
Right, Des, come on.
Have you seen the stats of the game? The possession stats and the shots and the corners.
Order.
Should we get it so we know what we're talking about?
Right, let me mute him.
Dor, so this was my take on the game. He touched on something there, didn't he? That they did go all out attack. They almost played 4 up front, it looked, from the start. I thought, wow, that looks like they're going to have a real go at us. What they were trying to do was stifle the fullbacks, I believe, stop Spence going forward, stop us playing it out from the back. We know that the goalkeeper likes to play to either Worrell or McKenna. And it just didn't work, did it? Because as soon as we got behind that first line of 4, we was all over them. We just mauled them. We wasn't fantastic in parts, but getting down that right-hand side like what we do. Joe Worrell told them about it after the Liverpool game. He said we get down that right-hand side, we put the ball in and we score. We did it 3 times in the first 30 minutes. Because as soon as Spence sort of pushed on and got beyond them, like I say, it was game over. It was just too easy. There was 6s and 7s at the back. The goalkeeper was uneasy. The defence was slow. And we just got a player, again, I'll mention his name, Brennan Johnson, who's just too good for the league. Just probably too good for us at times, but definitely too good for that game yesterday. And that's all we needed to do. So 30 minutes, and for them to say, the manager to say, oh, they played well. It's okay playing well at 3-0 down, isn't it? Because teams we went into game management to some degree. They did have a few chances. I didn't actually think they'd score if they were still playing now. They were unlucky with a couple.
We wouldn't have done.
We wasn't running for them. So for them to come out and say,
be down to 10
we were the better side. We played Fulham earlier in the season, and then at 4-0 up, it's easy to say Fulham passed it around quite easily. We didn't feel under pressure. We didn't feel like Blackpool were going to score. So,
we're garbage.
It's seeing the game through, isn't
we're
it?
absolutely garbage. Nobody's denying that. You wouldn't have been worrying at all.
The manager is. The manager
playing against it was like playing like a dog and duck team.
Lee, listen to me.
We're awful.
Lee, you need to listen to what your manager said. Listen to what your manager
We were
said.
bad. Nobody's disputing that fact. But even though we were bad, looking
he
at
said
the
he
match
was better than Forrest. He said they was better than Forrest.
Who says?
Your manager.
Well, I'm not saying they're better than Forrest. You're talking to me. I can't speak for what Critchy says.
I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is we were not better than Forrest. We were absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
We played the worst I've seen us play. Whether we've had 3 weeks off and I don't know, we're still on holiday, but that's what it looked like to me. We look like we're still on holiday. The ball out from Grimshaw, straight to have it to Johnson to be back.
I'll stop you there, Lee.
Was embarrassing.
Lee, just stop you. You're right. You're absolutely right about that ball from Grimshaw.
Yeah.
But I guarantee not one of your players, if they'd received the ball up against one of our defenders still to beat, would have gone through and then chipped the keeper.
No, we wouldn't, because we can't score. That's what I'm saying.
He had a lot to do. It weren't given to him in front of goal, was it? He was 25 yards out at an angle.
But I watch Blackpool every week, and you're absolutely right. We don't take our chances. You did. You were clinical. Absolutely clinical.
He made the chance himself. He still had a man to beat.
Yes. I'm not disputing that. You were clinical. I've already said that. You were brilliant. Whereas we're not clinical. Blackpool haven't been clinical all season. We create so many chances and we just do not score. I mean, most of our games you'll see they're all like 1-0. Even when we lose, normally we lose like by the odd goal, but the chances we create, just look at it. Just looking here at the game, we had 49 50.7% possession, and you had 50.3. We had 18 shots, you had 17. We had 5 on target, you had 7. So yeah, you're a bit more on target than us. 8 were blocked of us, 5. Passing was 70% to your 72. So look at the stats. It's quite close, but finishing.
Yeah,
I'm not. Well, it's here. I'm reading it off a match stat. I'm not deluded. What I'm saying is, you take your chances. We don't take our chances.
Shooting from 25 yards with defenders in front of you isn't a chance.
Order! Right, order. Just door. Let me stop now. Let me stop.
We're not disputing it. I'm saying we don't score.
Judge Door is talking now because right, Lee, right. After,
I know stats don't win games, Rebel City lad. I'm not saying it. We lost the game with those stats. I'm well aware we lost the game, but at the end of the day, if we were a little bit better at finishing and a little bit better at not giving the ball away, we might have done a little bit better than
tackling and heading and closing down.
Every football thing that you can tell me about, yes, tackling, heading, passing the ball, keeping hold of it, taking players on, scoring goals, we were garbage.
Right.
You beat a garbage team. It doesn't mean you're going to go up. You need to play like that against the good teams as well. We just didn't give you a game.
Yeah,
we did ourselves justice. I predicted 4th in January. I'm standing by that. I'm standing by it.
Ellie Els is standing by it, people.
I'm standing by that.
Right, Des, right,
you nearly got it right, didn't you? I'm glad you didn't put
order. Right.
You would have been picking up your winnings.
Right, I'm going to mute Lee. It is not listening.
3 times.
3 times now. Right. Lee, are you going to be quiet now? Right, Des. Right, Des. What do you want to ask Lee?
Pardon?
Go on. Ask what you want to say to Lee.
You can't ask me anything. I'm muted. I'm back.
No, you're talking. No.
I was just saying she was 4-0, but she wouldn't have picked her winners up at William Hills, would she?
Right.
It wasn't 4-0. So there we go.
She said we'll finish 4th.
Oh, you'll finish 4th.
She said that ages ago.
I think you've got a damn good chance. To be honest with you, and I'm saying this now, I think if you get in the playoffs, I think you'll win them playing like that because you're the best team that we've played all season at Bloomfield Road.
It wasn't even the top gear. That's the problem.
I've already said all this. It's like what I'm saying to you. You're not listening. You're the best team. Do you want me to just keep saying that all night?
No.
We played at Bloomfield Road. You were brilliant. Brennan Johnson is worth 100 million. Yes, absolutely fantastic. I will respect Nottingham Forest. They're amazing. The biggest club in the world. There we go. Are you happy now? I can talk this shit as well.
Right, Des.
Right, what do you want to ask me then?
No, right. Let me ask Des now. Des, Lee Slater Johnson.
Steam's coming out of his ears.
Previous show. How good was he yesterday? Like he wasn't top game, but then 2 goals that he scored, he's just getting better and better in it.
It was the clinical edge to him, wasn't it? And I think with confidence, if we're talking seriously now, Forest have won the last 3 games, scoring 11 goals. And yes, we played Reading at home and were poor. QPR are in a bit of a slump, and Blackpool are on the beach, so to speak. Literally. So, but you still have to beat what's in front of you, don't you? And the one I don't, God forbid I use a Mark Warburton praise, but it is fine margins all the time. Apart from the fact when players are confident, when players are playing well, and that's where Brennan Johnson is, isn't he? He contributes so much to what Forest do, his goals and his assists. And like I said before, it's
the Reds.
That Forest go down that line. They rely on Johnson quite a lot. So that's going to breed confidence, and then it sort of exudes through the team. And before we know it, if we're scoring early, we're in brilliant position. We know that as Forest fans because we're not always as clinical as we could be. But in the last couple of games, it's clicked, and all of a sudden the confidence is high. As soon as we get in front, we don't look like conceding with that back 3. We really don't look like conceding because it's like a wall. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't think Blackpool would score. But they were unlucky at times. I just thought Forrest was the team on the up, in the confidence, still got plenty to play for. Hopefully we come up against a lot more Blackpools in the next teams. Because I think Ellie's been a bit negative. We're finishing third at least.
I said this in January. Everyone laughed. They were like, "Oh, she's still young. She's still naive. She's still got hope."
Hey, Al, no, I've never said that. I
remember.
Yeah, I said, sarcastically. Now, after I was coming back from Blackpool today, my mind's changed. So after the show, I will give my prediction where Forrest will finish. I'm not going to say 15th anymore. Right.
Now, young man, you don't want to be saying that. Somebody said I sound a bit like Brian Clough. So now, young man.
That's a massive compliment.
Be talking like that, young man.
Right, Bob. Was you surprised McKenna back in the squad yesterday?
Yeah, massively surprised because it's supposed to have been a bad injury. And I didn't notice it at the game, but when I watched the video, where am I sound? When I watched the Sky Plus back, he picked up a knock early on as well, didn't I? Thought, oh no, well, obviously I knew he wasn't going to go off to remember the rest of the game, but he was superb again. And I think I'm starting to wonder. A, he talked about how he recovered and the tear wasn't as bad as they thought, and B, I'm starting to wonder if there's a little bit of kidology going on with every time a player gets injured, Steve Cooper says, "Oh, they're out for the next 10 years," and then it turns out to be 10 days or whatever. But yeah, we needed him back because he's a quality player. Helps people around him. Obviously, that pass for the fourth, I've lost count, whatever goal it was, 8th night, it was a great pass. But yeah, very impressed. And I thought, although he did his usual thing of backing off, I thought Figs played really well yesterday as well, to be fair. And I've been a bit of a critic of his. So if he didn't back off, we'd have beat Liverpool.
People, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and as everyone knows, Mr. Diaz, he's got his channel. Lee's got his channel as well. Both descriptions are in the link below.
Yeah,
I know Lee.
Thanks to EZ Sense there.
Yeah,
new subscriber for shouting out up the Reds.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to subscribe? Up the Reds. We could do. We're trying to get Catch Door.
Listen to me. We're Nottingham Forest one form. We're on the bounce. We're going up, people. We're going up, people after the yesterday performance.
It's looking good as long as you don't bottle it in the playoffs.
Yes. Right, Des. I spoke to quite a few Forest fans, and this is for Bob and Elle as well. When's the last time we've had 4 strikers at Nottingham Forest? Like, we've got Johnson and Davis. We took him off in the 60th minute to bring on 2 extra players. Like, Grabber's come out from injury and not gone out. Storage as well. Des. Isn't it crazy? When's the last time we've done that?
Wow, it's hard to remember ever having a pool of strikers playing well as well, who are all on top form. It seems we wouldn't argue if Surridge started again with Grabban, because they're that good at the moment. And what I will say, it was a surprise to see Lewis Grabban back, but he always looks very sharp these days. Of course, because he's getting on, and he probably can't play every minute. The rest probably does him as good as the recovery, if you know what I mean. So when he has 4 or 5 games out, I always think he comes back. He must work really hard to get back, but he looks sharp, and I thought he looked sharp again yesterday. And I think that bodes really well, doesn't it? Because when he did get injured, Davis weren't in the form he was. Johnson had been quiet for a couple of games. Surridge was unknown. So now all of a sudden, we've got the quartet back, and it seems like we could pick any 1, 2, 3 of them, and give anybody a good game. And when we've got to go searching for goals, because it's not going to be plain sailing from now on. And I know we're scoring for fun at the minute, but when we go searching for goals and we're 1-0 down, or we need a late goal to pick somebody in the playoffs, having those options on the bench it's incredible, really, isn't it? Lewis Grabban, I've been his critic in the past, but for all his faults, he scores goals in the Championship. He might not play for 89 minutes, but sometimes he misses a sitter if he has too much time to think. But he can have 1 touch in a game and score a goal, and that's so important You know, sometimes when you're under the cost, you know, when it's not working out, I just think the striking situation now and the defence all over the pitch really, but having that depth from before January when we was very thin on the ground. Like I say, in that Cardiff game, when Cook went off, when Grabban went off, it looked like, oh God, we're really sort of dipping into the reserves. But these players have just stepped up to the plate and just sort of got carried along with everybody else's form. Coming into a winning team's easier than coming into a losing team, of course. And they're just showing that we can do it. You know, we can get there. And it doesn't matter who he puts on the pitch, whether it's Figueiredo at the back, Cook, you know, because Cook's probably not going to walk back into the team. You know, even Max Lowe, you know, I think is the obvious one where he comes straight back in because Colback's not a left back. But what a job he did on the world's best player yesterday, Jack Colback. You know, he marked the world's best player out of the game, the best right winger in the Championship. So,
the world's best player.
Can you?
Is that a claim to fame? The world's best player.
It means Josh Bowler.
I know what he's talking about. Well, I wouldn't rate him that highly, but he's certainly the best player we've had at Blackpool for a long, long time. And trust me,
to be fair,
for free.
Bowler, it looks a very good player. I did think when Blackpool had the ball and they put those four up front, I did think to myself, in certain games against certain opposition, I could see how Blackpool could really sort of dominate the game. And if they'd score early, you know, they can then adjust their formation to manage the game like we did in the second half. They could manage the game and take strikers off and defend. And I thought it could work. And he did look okay. There's a lot of Forest fans saying he was rubbish because he didn't Cyprus in January. The reality is, Brennan Johnson is 10 times better, but this guy's not a bad player. He's not a bad player. Brennan Johnson's 10 times better than most players, like I say. But I thought he did do okay. But then, again, like I was saying before, massive credit to Colback, who's 30 plus, you know, playing out of position and also played very well against him. It doesn't mean because one played well, the other didn't. You know, it was a good battle. It was a good, solid battle on that right-hand side.
Yeah, just quickly look at this Binky boy here. Said he's dreading playing Borough if you get them in the playoffs. Well, I'm looking at the table here, and I'm surely you must have a little eye on second place, aren't you? Surely.
No, let me Bob.
In all honesty, yes, in some ways you look at Bournemouth's running.
Yeah.
If we go on an unbelievable run, which is possibility with the confidence, but it's a lot of points to make up with only 7 or 8 games. I think we've got to make up about 8
You never know. I mean, you really are. I mean, I didn't think Bournemouth, we just played Bournemouth, obviously, and we played you really. And Bournemouth, we should have beat Bournemouth. How
look at their manager, though. Look at their
manager. I would have said that you looked a better team than Bournemouth. And Middlesbrough, honestly.
The problem with Middlesbrough is
them as well.
Spence doesn't play because he's on loan. But the thing with Bournemouth, Lee,
you got a good chance.
It's the same as Fulham 2 years ago. Fulham had the best set of players in the league 2 years ago, and they only just scraped up. Bournemouth, I think, you look at their squad, they've got as good a squad, if not better than anyone. But they've got a manager who manages to make them average, haven't they? Same as he did with Fulham 2 years ago. Scott Parker's a lovely man, I'm sure, but he's a crap manager. How can you not take Fulham up automatic 2 years ago? And how can you be struggling to take that set of Bournemouth players up? And like you say, we looked a better team than them.
Definitely. 100%.
Player. If we swap managers, they win that league, or they're certainly up there right next to Fulham.
I think he's a great manager, and it's somebody posted on a tweet that I'd said master against the pupil, and they were saying that I was calling crit. Oh, you're winding me up, were you? I mean, obviously, Critch came in under Cooper into Liverpool, and Cooper went on to amazing things, didn't he? He won the World Cup with under 18s. He went out to play Swansea. This is Critch's first job, so I was never saying that Critch was the master. Critch is the pupil, and he's been skilled, hasn't he, over the last both games against he's come up trumps and Cooper, and I think he is. I think both of them will go on to be great managers, whether you keep him or he goes on to be England manager one day, or I don't think we'll keep Critch for 1 minute. But we didn't even know who Critch was. I was saying to Dore, we'd never heard of him. He came out of completely left field,
and it started.
And he's still it's only his first managerial job in the league. It's only the first time we've played in the Championship, and we don't have the budget that Forrest have. And when you talk about Johnson going for a lot more money than Bowler, well, I'd love to know what the difference is in wages of Bowler and Johnson. And for somebody to come in and get Bowler, it's a lot easier to take Bowler away from Blackpool. It won't be on anything like the wages you pay there.
You'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised. Our young lads have come through the system. There's a thing in. I mean, he's negotiating a new contract. Well, hopefully at the moment. But most of our young lads, they're on about, and it's still a hell of a lot of money to us, but about $5 or $6 grand once they're in the first team. I think is it Worrell's a top earner.
Well, £6,000 to Blackpool. Honestly, you're talking like. Yeah. You're talking telephone numbers to us. We don't pay anything like 6,000 a week. Right. I don't know. Right, I don't know. If our top earners are on 4, it'd be a bloody miracle, to be honest. We don't pay anything like that. You know what I mean? We're not in your league yet of paying. We're just not as big a club. It's as simple as that. You've been up there a long, long time. We could have been. We could have been if the Oystons had done the right thing instead of just taking all the money and reinvested some of that money that we got, but they never did. So we're just, we're bargain basement. Most of the players are signed on frees and from lower divisions, and that's just how we are. So to prize a player away, to tempt Josh Bowler away from Blackpool, £6,000 a week could probably do it. I'm being honest, because he'd be like, incredible. We just don't pay anything like your money, and you can't have players taken off you as easy as we can. And we're still seen as small. Dore sees us as small. It's telling me I had to respect Forrest.
Don't throw me on the bus like that, Lee. I've never called you.
I had to respect Forrest, Dore, which was.
Can I jump in and can I just say one shout out to Blackpool, which is a bit random. One of the best football books I ever read was Stanley Matthews' autobiography. Absolutely brilliant. Just recommend it to any fan to see. Blackpool obviously features in it massively, the history of what club they once were. So I've always had a bit of a soft spot for him since then.
He's, of course, Stoke would argue with you that he's Stoke, which he is. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been, the Stanley Matthews statue at Stoke is just, it's the best. It's the best statue I've ever seen, to be honest. It's incredible. Have you seen it where he's like 4 different ages and he's dribbling down? There's 4 of him. It's amazing. It's just so good. But he was a Stoke lad. But of course, he's famous with Blackpool because he could never win the FA Cup. And late on in his career, because he came to Blackpool, pretty late on in his career, and he won his FA Cup medal, which is why they call it the Matthews final. But of course, if you talk to my dad, it was a Morty final, because he got the hat trick. But Stan Matthews was was an amazing, amazing player.
Right, I'm going to give you a comment on this is one for you, Lee. This is from Accent. How you doing, Accent? Lee, if you have three current 5 players, who would you choose? Just choose 3.
What, you want me to know some Forest players, are you? Are you having a laugh?
Lee, you know every single one after watching yesterday. Don't give me that. Listen to me. You put Brennan, then Johnson.
Hang on a minute.
What, Lee, why are you looking at your phone? Lee, why are you looking at your phone? It's in your head.
I haven't, as if I know any Forest players. Are you having a laugh?
You saw his back yesterday, so you should know who you have in your team.
No, they're just in a different colour.
Lee, who would you have? Come on, tell me.
I only watch.
Lee, who would you have in your team?
I tell you, I would have. I can tell you one I would definitely have.
Who?
Brennan Johnson. I'd bloody have him because he's.
Couldn't you do a couple of centre halves as well?
I'd have McKenna. Yeah. I'd have McKenna because you're always telling me he's good. So I've been listening.
Bloody hell, he's been listening. What? You sure?
Yeah, you've been talking about McKenna. Let's see if I can find another one in the chat.
What's
the limit?
What about
You think I don't
What
watch
about striker? Because your strikers are
Why am I
gash,
looking on
aren't
my
they?
phone?
So
Why am I looking on my phone?
You know what?
Because I
To be
don't
fair,
know Forrest.
You do know Forrest because we gave you a hiding yesterday, so you should know.
That's not how I do football, Door.
Right, Lee.
I just
pick one
see
more.
Tangerine.
Lee,
That's
pick
all I
one
see.
more.
We're either good or we're bad, and that's what I see generally. And I see we get beaten, and I see the other team play better than us, and I see the wingers attack. But I don't know the names. I'm not one of these stato guys that knows. I couldn't be a football commentator. You won't get a football
Or a
commentary
scout.
from me on anything. I just, you what?
You'd be a really bad scout.
I'd be a terrible scout, mate. I'd be Chris Kamara, to be honest. I think, I would if it was me. I would. That'd be me. What?
Right, Lee. Let me look up.
Right, can I just say that?
They're making a substitution, Jeff.
That incident, the sending off, was 12 years ago today. It was on Twitter.
Was it with Chris Kamara?
I don't know, Jeff, has he?
Sending off?
Honestly, if you ask me much about yesterday's game, that's me. I can't lie. I don't remember much of it.
Remember getting hit in the head with a palm tree,
do you know what?
And then a giant blow-up donut.
Ask your daughter then. How many Blackpool players do you know from watching them yesterday? Obviously, Bowley, you can remember him. How many others do you?
Connolly scored.
Who?
That's it. Connolly, is that right?
Connolly, yeah, because he's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. What's he called? A very strange name.
I want to talk about him in a serious way in a bit when I get the chance.
I'd have him. They are. That's the three. They
are. Right, Lee.
I'd have your manager.
There's one.
You got a good manager. You got a good manager. Can we swap him for Critch?
No, you're not.
No,
Wait. Didn't you slate?
I wouldn't swap. To be honest, you asked me now, would I swap Bowler for Johnson?
You slated Cooper on the preview, saying that your manager's better than ours.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you.
No, I didn't say our manager. I did not say our manager was better than yours.
What
I said was is they came from this. What the point I was making is they both come from Liverpool. They both come.
Yeah. And what else did you say? What else
I made that point on the chat, and then you read it.
You what? Say again. Sorry.
I made that point on the chat on Friday night, and then you read it. I said about the master and the apprentice.
Yes, because he is the master, isn't he, Cooper? He is the master to Critch, and we all know that. I mean, looking at his record, he's obvious. He's obviously, even a blind man could see that he's done more than Critch so far. This is Critch's first job, but for us, talking about Critch for us, he's a fantastic manager, which is what I said. He is. He's the best manager we've had in a long time. And at the start, fans were, as I was explaining, didn't know where he came from, never heard of him. He didn't get off to a very good start. And there was a lot of chat on the forums that who's this idiot that we've got that's come from under 23s football and doesn't know anything about man's football. And there was a lot, there was a lot of fans weren't keen, but, he has proved himself to be a very good manager. He got us out. Listen, he got us out of League One in like his first season. The last time it took us 30 years to get back to the Championship when we got relegated in 1972. It took us 30 years. So trust me, he's a legend. And like I say, I didn't really enjoy I didn't really enjoy the Premier League. And I'm telling you now, if you do get in the Premier League, it's not quite as good as you think it's going to be.
No.
And I gave the reasons why it's not quite as good. But the money's good.
No, Lee, no. Let me put in. I want to be in the Premiership. Why? There's no wrong being in the Premier League. It's not boring. You want to be in. Would you want?
I'd love to be in the Premier League if I had like a cat and else chance of staying in it for a start, because you don't have a cat and else chance of staying in it unless you're a massive club. Blackpool haven't got. So you being Nottingham Forest and being like potentially, you were a massive club, you're Brian Clough and European history and all that sort of stuff. It's like there's no comparison, is there? We were famous in 1953. We had England internationals then, but since 1953, we've not done a lot. Well, we won the Anglo Italian in 71, so we can say that. But as a club, we've been down in the bottom two divisions for like most of my life. All my life with my dad was just, my dad would always say to me, Blackpool are you know, we're a sleeping giant, we're a massive club. But for all those years I went to football with him, I used to say to people, you know, even at his funeral, you know, in my speech, I said, but, you know, I used to think Dad made me a seasider to ruin my life. That's how it felt like. But
did he make you live there? Do you still live there?
Yeah, I was born in Blackpool, but you know, my dad was born in Blackpool, so I'm like a bona fide Sangron or whatever. But,
yeah. Have you moved away?
No, I love it here. You know what I mean? It's just I'm Blackpool through it. You know,
It's a brilliant place to visit, but it must be grim having to live there every day.
No, it's not at all. It's not grim at all. There's nice places in Blackpool, and it's just I love it. But Blackpool has suffered really.
It looks like
I could talk about it all day, but the Victorians that built Blackpool were visionary, right? You know, they were visionary people. They really were. They built the theatres, they built the pleasure beach, they built the piers, they built, you know, outdoor swimming pool. You know, everything they built was visionary.
Called the sea.
And since the Victorians, we haven't got people that are that visionary.
Don't drink, guys.
So Blackpool has become very run down. And we didn't get the casino bid, and that was a failure. And but it's coming back. There's things that are being done.
Can I say something about Zinc?
Go on, Zinc, before we get next question. Go on.
I want to say, last time I came on, Zinc had a bit of a dry run, and he come back quite well and played really well at Leicester. That miss against Liverpool, he's took some serious pelters for that, which I thought was over the top. He was superb yesterday, linking up play and everything. I know he got his goal was a bit, not going to deny, he was a bit lucky, but he was there. His movement and everything was superb. And I did a bit of stato stuff. And I mean, he obviously got 5 goals, 6 assists, which for a number 10 isn't bad at all, is it? Because it's a tough position. But he's got, he averages 21 passes a game. He's got 80% pass completion. And that sounds daft, but that's what centre halves would have in it, because they never give the ball away unless they play for Blackpool yesterday. But Jono, he averages 16 passes a game, 72% completion. I know he's got 13 goals, 7 assists. I'm not saying he's in the same league, far from it. I just don't think Zinc is appreciated by some fans. You keep reading, funnily enough, Josh Bowler comes into this. You hear people saying, oh, we need an upgrade on Zinc. We need an upgrade on Zinc. And I'm looking at him play and think, when he's playing well, he's really good. And he's only been playing this level of football for 15 months. He was I think, in the Danish leagues before that.
Danish league, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's never played outside Denmark before Watford signed him. And do you know who he reminds me of? Not as a player, but I can see him. Do you remember when we signed Bohinen? And I remember all of us were saying, if we go up, Lars Bohinen will actually probably look better in the division above than he does in the Championship, because some players are like that, aren't they? And I look at Zinc and think, I can see that, because he's got a lovely touch, hasn't he? And his awareness and all that sort of stuff. He does blow hot and cold, but that consistency might come at a higher level with less games, and obviously as he adapts even more to England. So that was my little Zinc speech.
Can I just respond to what Bob says there? I think Zinc's biggest problem is not what the fans believe. I think it's Steve Cooper. And I like him. I think he's a great little footballer, proper sort of. I've always called him a street footballer, not in the same way as like Wayne Rooney, where he'll elbow people and kick people, but he kind of he just gets stuck in and he does what he has to do and he runs about. But I think if you listen to Cooper a lot, he gets his pick like he is at the moment, but Cooper doesn't really slate him, but he's the one he always picks out saying he could do better. You know, I saw yesterday, the second half when he went clean through, and Cooper turned around and his hands went up. And I think his biggest critic amongst everybody is Steve Cooper, because I've heard him say a couple of times on local radio, Phil's a great player, but there's always a but. So he's frustrated inside that he's not converting those chances. I totally appreciate what you say about the Liverpool game, and it's good to see he came back from it and played well. But that's massive in football. You look at the way Cooper Samba. I know it's a bit different, a lot different, because he bolted someone around the head. But it's those things, isn't it? And Cooper, to me, seems a perfectionist. That's why he's getting the results. And then with Zinckernagel, he's just getting frustrated when he don't quite be as clinical as he should be. Do you know, he's almost sort of 80% of the way there, isn't he? But another 2 or 3 goals, another 2 or 3 really, really important goals.
Giving the ball away as well sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes he gives the ball away cheap, doesn't he? And I noticed another little stat I picked up, he averages 72 minutes per game, which says a lot, like you're saying. He always seems to be the one that gets the hook, isn't he? When the game, like yesterday, the game was over by half time, if we're honest, and we sat back and thought we'd try and hit him on the break. And it just didn't quite happen until the subs came on, did it? But in the first half, he was the man linking things up. His movement and he's like, I know he's long gone and he scored today and all that, Carvalho. The thing about Carvalho, sometimes the game had to come to him. Zinc goes looking for the ball and gets into the game one way or another.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
Right, before we get the question, I'm just look for the comments, and we've got a special guest and someone's dad's on here who the man himself, David Johnson. Do you know who he is, Lee? Do you know the guy that is slated on Friday is dad's here to comment. Evening, chaps. Always entertaining as usual. Lee Larry in the evening. Blackburn were top draw last season and taking the championship by storm. They missed Sims and have come forward in champs. What do you think about that comment? Shout out to John as well.
Hey, Jono.
Well, I kind of agree with it. Let's have a look. Even champs, someone's watching as usual. We were top draw. Yeah, we were top draw last season. In the end, we were. We didn't start off very well. I've already said we got off to a bit of a dodgy start, and it wasn't looking so good. But a bit like you, we turned it around. I mean, Forrest were the same. You were pretty much bottom of the league, weren't you? You got rid of Houghton and brought Cooper in, and everything changed. And we got better after about 12 games, and then we were amazing. And we ended up getting promoted, and everything's fine. We wanted to sign Ellis Sims from Everton, but didn't work out. I don't know for what reason. We all thought he was coming back.
You do know that comment is from Forrest royalty. You know who that guy is. It's not just somebody's dad.
It's David Johnson, Lee.
I know, but you're
David
saying
Johnson.
that there's lots of David Johnsons in the world.
Oh, you should.
Which David Johnson? Sorry, David. He's a Forest legend. I know you're going to tell me he's a Forest legend.
You know what? You should put respect on his name. I do apologize, John. I should remove Lee for not even know who David Johnson is. That is
but I'm not a Forest fan.
You should know. As a football fan, you should know who he is. Right, John. Like I said,
I've only ever watched the Premier League one season.
Lee, you should right.
One season I've watched it, and we were in it.
Right, this is enjoy the video that I made, Lee. You know that video, Lee, that from YouTube on Twitter. He's the one that made it. So, just thought he's the one that made the video. Is that right? You know the one from the video that's been on Twitter.
Oh, the one taking the piss out of me. Yeah,
yeah.
No, that was it's brilliant. I love it. Honestly, I love it. Listen, I didn't come on DoreOnTour's show on Thursday to be a wallflower. I did. I came on to have a bit of banter. That's what it's all about. It's all about banter. I can't go into the game saying, we're going to lose, and Forest are the best team in the world, and we're all fearing it. I get pelters from my own fans. So at the end of the day, I've got to give you a bit of banter, and I'll come on, tonight and take the flak. Take it as it comes. But,
going home
I've never really been. I've always been a Blackpool fan. My life has always been about watching Blackpool, and what you kind of don't understand is that we were like 30 years down in the bottom 2 divisions, and
we understand.
I've never been interested in the top leagues because that wasn't my football. It's a little bit almost like talking with a fan that just watches non-league football all the time, and then talking to him about Manchester. If you don't watch that football, you don't know. And for like really, for 40 years, really, we've been out of the top 2 divisions. Really, that's all my life. So we're not in that. Blackpool have not been in your world for a long time. We just haven't. It's a fact. We've been looking at playing.
Let it go, Lee. Let it go.
Yeah, so I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. It's because I'm not in that world. Do you understand? I'm not in your world.
Right. Let's go.
I'm not being disrespectful. It's not something that I've followed because I've not. I've been playing Lincoln City and
You definitely should know who young Jono is then.
Scunthorpe.
Right.
It's his dad. Sorry, it's his dad.
Yes! Oh, for frig's sake.
Oh, for God. Why didn't you just say that in the first place?
We did!
You don't listen. You're like that naughty kid at the back of the class.
Oh, well, I was too busy talking. So, no, your son's fantastic. No, he is. But I've never said he wasn't.
Well, what was it you said earlier? Bowler's 10 times better than Johnson.
No, I never said anybody was 10 times better than anybody. It's Dore that was telling me that Brennan Johnson was 10 times better than Bowler, and all I said was you haven't watched him play.
No. What
you're basing that on? That's all I said.
Right. Stop it, Lee. This is what I said. I said Josh Bowler was a good player. I didn't say he was rubbish. I just said. You said.
Well, you said Brennan Johnson was 10 times
better. Let me talk. You said, Johnson was with Lincoln last season. Yeah. Blackpool beat him in the final. It wasn't great.
He wasn't.
Yeah, but now I'm talking about this season.
He's 18 years old.
But I haven't seen him play.
You have now, fella.
Yeah, I have. He was fantastic. Yeah. No, he was fantastic. I'm not going to say he wasn't. He was. He was amazing. He was.
Right. So right now, people watching this, who's better now, Johnson or Barlow? Josh, what are you doing?
Well, Johnson, obviously, based on yesterday, Johnson is better on yesterday's performance. Definitely.
Right, that's his order. That's
does that mean that Johnson is 10 times better than Bowler?
Yes!
10 times more, though.
Yeah.
And in football, money talk.
I read a stat, I don't know how true this is, where he's the first under 21 in a France, Spanish, Portuguese, all leagues to have 20.
Listen. I hope you're listening.
Involvement, there's the word.
Listen. He's
only 20.
That's how good he'll be in a few years' time if he keeps reasonably injury-free with the right clubs, with the right coaching.
Let's hope so.
It's scary what he could achieve.
And let's hope he doesn't bang the winner in against England in the World Cup or something, and then we'll all be sick, won't we? So
people, we're not trying to disrespect Lee. Lee knows Lee's got good banter. So if Lee was he'll say, but no, Lee could take it. He's a YouTuber like me. We all do it.
I don't mind. You can give me all the fuck you want, but I have to eat people in a bit of humble pie, don't I? Because I came on and said that we'd win 2-0. We didn't, did we? So.
We
didn't. We lost. We know we lost.
Right.
Beaten by a better team, and we were garbage.
People, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button. I'm on 42.
He told me he's a Blackpool fan. What does
Lee, shut up.
What do they mean, though?
Right, people, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you know. And I do apologize. He just talks so much. He does look at him. That's why I'm going to mute him. This is the fourth time I'm going to mute him.
Doesn't know that he's muted.
Yeah, I'm muted him.
Can't hear you.
He knows I muted him. Right, people, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the like, subscribe if you know. Subscribe to Des. Subscribe to Lee, please. I know this is a few times, but just subscribe to him. Just, you know what? Wait. Right, is he on? People, right. Wait. People in the comments, should I unmute him? Should I unmute him? Put yes or no. So I'll mute him.
I need to raise a really serious point about a new campaign.
What?
A new campaign I'm starting. It's really important.
Yeah, we'll do that end. Bob. We'll do it.
Not that one. It's a different one. You don't know about this one. It's called Get Door to Luton campaign.
Oh, that one.
Get Door to Luton. We can't not have the blog coming from Kenilworth Road or whatever it's called now, Kenilworth Road, because of the ticket office decide to open an hour early and not tell their real fans.
Right, Lee, do this if you want me to unmute you.
Leave him, he's all right. He's got actions.
Right, Lee. Right. And this is for Des. This is a serious question. Sambi come back in yesterday, and I think I wasn't surprised because even how I've come back from international duty late. how did he play yesterday, and would you bring him back against Coventry?
I thought Samba played really well. You know, he without playing amazing, because he didn't have to. What he did, he looked comfortable again, and he just gives me more confidence than Horvath. You know, I'm not disrespecting Horvath. He's come in and he doesn't really deserve to lose his place. But Cooper, having made the decision, and then just my own personal feeling when the ball was around the penalty box, when it was coming in, I just felt a lot more confident with Samba between the posts. We know what he did, and at the end of the day, you know, he's been punished. He was quite harshly punished, because they've made him sit and wait for his place. From being the clear number one, there's now a battle on for the spot, a justified battle of two really good goalkeepers. I was worried personally when Samba got banned for 3 games. I'm sure the club were. But having seen how Horvath performed, he did well. And he deserved to keep his place, like I say. But Cooper made a decision yesterday. And I think at some point that decision was always going to happen. You know, the international breaks probably come at the right time for Cooper to go, we need our best goalkeeper between the sticks for the last 10 games of the season. And I think he did all right. I saw some people giving him some flack on Twitter. And I thought he didn't have enough to do. But what he did, you know, he's a big presence in the area. He weren't happy when the goal went in. You know, he's a big personality at the end of the day. That's what you get from him. We've loved it for so long. So I'm not going to turn on him now and start saying he's not this, he's not that. He's the best goalkeeper we've got, in my opinion. He was steady, and he fills me with a lot more confidence when the ball's around his feet and when the ball's coming into the box. We know that Horvath's a shot stopper, but in many ways, when you look at goalkeepers, that's their job. Both of them are amazing shot stoppers. You think of some of the saves, because Samba's done a lot in this under Cooper as well, in this promotion push. To warrant a mistake or two. We know he's a bit hot-headed and he lets the crowd play him up and things like that. But he's done a lot for this season as well. And we need not to forget that. Just because some guys come in and had a steady 5 or 6 games, you know, and that's my opinion on the issue. Yesterday, I thought he did everything he had to. He looked confident on crosses. He's unorthodox at times, but it was effective. There's one where the corner came over and he got flashed across the box and he stuck his leg out. But his leg got it far enough out of the penalty area for it to not cause too many issues. So for me, yeah, he did well. And I would stick with him for Coventry, personally. I wouldn't be too surprised, disappointed if he went back to Horvath. But I think at some point, Samba will establish that he is Forrest's number 1 goalkeeper. He's too good not to be. It's as simple as that.
Let me ask you, Al. We know Cook's injured. Figueroa's come in, and I'm not gonna lie, Figueroa's had so much slack. He's come in, and I think he's proved so many Forest fans wrong. Do you think he deserves Forest fans to get praised after the performances he's had?
I think he does. After the performance yesterday, he does deserve the praise. He does get a lot of stick. And I will admit, I'm one of those people. I think the thing about Figueiredo, he can be absolutely class for the vast majority of the game. And then he'll just have one moment and it'll cost us a goal. And it's unfortunate because he could be so good, and he is so good. But that one moment, if it costs you a goal and it costs you a game, that's that. You need to not concede. Like Liverpool, where he sat back and it played. Who was it who scored onside?
Some scouts.
I can't remember. But and there's always one of those. But I do like him. It's not to say that I wouldn't want Cook back in when he's there. I think it's not just how good Cook is in general as defender. It's kind of how he leads the team with his age and his experience. I said in the January transfer market, I think there was a hole to fill in that department. And I think what Cook brings as well, I would. As good as Figueiredo was yesterday, I still would like to see Cook back. I feel much more confident with Cook on the team.
100%. Bob, I was just saying, we've got so much in depth now. We've got a big squad, and we've not had this for a long time. How does it feel as a Forest fan? Like, say, if one player is injured, we bring one player in. Like we mentioned, Colback, loads injured. Colback plays left back. It's good to see. Like, oh, we worry about when Cook got injured, when McKenna got injured, when Lowe got injured. But these players have come in and they've done well, aren't they?
Superb. I mean, the only moment where we had a shaky bit is kind of around Christmas, wasn't it? When I think COVID had took hold, and I'm not criticising, but young Neil Back's lad, I can't remember his first name. Finn Back came in against Middlesbrough, and he struggled a little bit. It was a little bit early for him.
I think he's overwhelmed. I think
Yeah. I think physically he's not a big lad yet, is he? He's still developing. You know, someone like young Jono, although he was 18, 19, 20 last couple of years, he was already quite a physical lad, wasn't he? Specimen, so to speak. And but that aside, you're absolutely right. I mean, Lolly's looking as sharp as a tack every time he comes on at the minute. I mean, that body swerve he did in midfield, he sent the whole stadium the wrong way. Never mind the defender who sat on his backside. That was absolute Lolly of old, wasn't it? If he gets a goal, I'm sure he'll kick on. Like you say, we've got all them strikers. We've got 3 midfielders fighting for 2 places. And then beyond that, every time Cafu's come on, he's not let us down at all. In fact, he's looked quite classy at times. All of that just bodes so well for where we're trying to get to. And then, you know, we've only just got young Mighton back from injury, who I think is going to be our next big breakthrough player. I really hope we don't lose Jono. I really, you know, because he's such a great. But I genuinely think, and you talk to the coaches down at the club, they think Mighton's got a lot to give once he gets himself established. Maybe he'll do what Jono did and go out on loan for a season or whatever because he's still young. But when you've got feet that quick and you've got that good balance and you're that fast, you've got something, haven't you? And you know, he's unfortunate he came into the team under Chris Hughton, which wasn't ideal. But yeah, the strength of depth is amazing. And talk about Chris Hughton, sorry to do this. Did you read that thing that he was apparently in the summer saying to the board that Brennan Johnson's not yet ready for Championship?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said.
He's nearly as bad. I can't believe that. A guy of his experience saying something like that is staggering. I mean, he's nearly as bad at being a scout as Lee.
If you know what me and Des know, it's
I won't say it, but I've heard a few things.
If you know, we know. It's
so like, weird because when he was at Brighton, because I lived down there at that time, he was so highly regarded, and they actually played all right football before they got promoted. Just bizarre. And I saw Bong look like a really top footballer.
Like people, there's 144 people. We'll get going in a minute. Back to people, if you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button. If you get me to 100 likes, I will appreciate it. Lee, let's talk about Blackpool. Like you got promoted, and I think mid-table, you'll be happy with mid-table. I've never called Blackpool a small club. They're a good side, and the people, as you know, behind him, he's put repeat of goals of stupid DJ Campbell behind him, that bloody player.
Just
I know it was. Yes, I know it was. But yeah, look, with your expectations, like I'm gonna smash your TVs up in a minute. You can finish mid-table, but what's your expectations for next season? Like, do you want to progress, or do you want to stay in the league for 2 or 3 seasons, then progress in the Premier League?
Oh my God, we only just got in the Championship. If for Blackpool fans at the moment, it was just a case of we're actually above the Nobbers at the moment, which if we just finish above them, that would be like Dream Street for us, because we've been getting abused for so many years from them because they've been up above us. There's, as a Blackpool fan now, the young kids that are going now, they don't know, they've no idea what we've all been through for, the older generation have been through for years and years with Blackpool. So they're all happy. The club are going in the right direction. They're doing things that needed doing. We will eventually get the training ground that the Oysters promised for 30 years. It's still not come, but apparently we're going to hear something announced soon. So, Critch is wanting to have an academy because Blackpool really have never brought any players through because there was nowhere for kids to go. They just used to be shipped out somewhere on loan somewhere and forgotten about once they'd made it. So all that's being redone. The stadium and that stand that you were in is going to be done. And if all that gets done and Blackpool develop the players in the way that Critch wants to do, we're just a much more professional club than we were under the Oystons, and it looks good for Blackpool fans. I don't know if we'll ever get back in the Premier League. I would like to get back in the Premier League just to get the money that we should have got the last time, you know what I mean, and put that wrong right. But the fact that we're back in the Championship, in sort of the exact place we were when the Oystons started, really messing about and wanting to destroy the club, and Cole Oyston was saying he was going to take us down into non-league and all that. So the fact that we're back where we were before it all unraveled and went wrong, it feels to me like a line's been drawn underneath it. But to get in the Premier League would be like would really be the thing that that I will be pleased with, even if it's just one time just to get that money, because we just we never got anything out of it. We might and I used to say to people, they used to say Oystons were thieves and they were suing fans for saying they were thieves, but I used to say they were thieves of taking your dreams away because you couldn't. There was no, there literally was no point in say, the FA Cup draw comes out and you draw Liverpool or Man United. You were never. It didn't matter because it was never going to go on. You couldn't say, oh, we're going to draw Man United and we're going to get £1 million and that's going to buy us a new defender, because it just never would. And it was proved even more so when we got in the Premier League and we got 90 million quid that they didn't spend any of it. So you couldn't dream. There's just no point, in watching the team, because it would never get, there was no chance. So now there is.
Over now, don't worry, it's over.
Yeah, it is over now, and that's what I'm saying. So if we're still in the if we're still in the Championship next season and we survive again, I'll be happy. I'll be that. I won't be miserable. I know I was talking to, I've spoken to Dole loads of times on our show together. I mean, and you were saying you're just absolutely bored of the Championship and you've been in there for 13 years. And you want to get out. Wait, miserable you are with the Championship.
Wait,
Championship and all that. Well, I love the Championship, Dole. I love it.
Stop,
I'm so happy to be here. I'm not in bloody League One or League Two.
All for wait.
Getting beaten by Sutton United or Forest Green Rovers, which we would.
Lee, stop there. Right.
Go on.
Desmond and Paul will say exactly the same thing. The Championship is so frustrating. It's annoying league. I want to get out of the Championship because, no disrespect to like Preston or the other Stoke City going away, I don't want to go there. I want to play the big boys.
Of course you do. But you are our big boys at the moment. We haven't, honestly, I've been to some grounds this season. You want to see where we've been over the last 30 years. You know what I mean?
You've been there.
I went to Swansea. I was like, look at this. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe how good Swansea was.
Lee, we've been in the
Forrest, your ground is a bit tight getting in and everything. There's not a lot of, getting in.
Right.
Really, I went to the fire and tried to get back down those.
Right. Stop there. Right.
Right.
Listen, me yesterday, and shout out to Lee Filson, because we had to sit at the back and top of the ground. It is bloody cold. We had to move 3 times.
That's why we all wear hats. People keep saying, "Why do you keep wearing a hat?"
It's bloody cold. So don't give me nonsense about ours being tight. Your place is cold, but it's good ground, but
it's cold.
Right. Let's not these people.
You're coming up north. You got to be tough to come up north.
Right, people in the comments.
Mute me. I'll mute myself. There you go.
Yeah, he's mute himself. He's mute. Well, I can mute myself. Right, let me mute him. Right, this is 5th time. Right, people in the comments. Who was your man of the match? I want to on the panel as well. Who was the best player? Lee, can I mute you again? Can I mute you, Lee?
You can mute me anytime you want, Dor.
I can mute you.
The feeling's mutual.
This is the thing. He never mutes me on his channel. That's why.
I don't. Do I? I never mute you on my channel.
All the time.
I take when you come on.
I talk great. Right, Des, who was your man of the match yesterday? People in the comments as well. Who was your man of the match yesterday for the kids game? Des, who was yours?
Well, again, without being absolutely out of this world.
Your voice is going, Des. Your voice is going, Des.
because I'm warming up again because they haven't had a chance to speak.
There's a good question there about the 5 subs rule. The 5 sub. What do you think about that? The 5 subs
rule. We don't care about the 5 subs. We don't care. We don't care. Des, mute. Des, go on. Who's your man of the match?
So, without being spectacular, I don't think anyone was, like you say, we played well. Every single player performed. I thought Colback did a fantastic job on bowler. Was he man of the match? Probably not. I thought Samba was steady in goal. McKenna coming back from injury. All those players play well. Figueiredo. But you can't look any further than Johnson, can you? He's impacted the game more than anybody. And we know that wasn't his best performance. What it was, again, we'll use the word clinical. He just got his foot over the ball and he found found the corner for the first one. A little bit of skill. We know he's got that in his locker. Nice finish. He's changed the game within 20 minutes. From the 10th to the 30th minute, Johnson's impacted it with an assist and 2 goals. You can't ask for any more, and then after that, it was just about managing it. So Johnson's got to be man of the match. But again, I don't think it was a 10 out of 10 performance. It was just Forrest being a very, very good football side in the Championship.
100%. El and Bob, who was your man of the match? Start with you, El.
Like I say, it has to be Johnson.
I'm surprised you not chose Worrell.
Oh no, I met him, and it was. Have I not told you this story?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
It's not that kind of story. I wouldn't let that. I was there as well.
Right. It's a kids' channel. It's an adult. It's an adult channel. You want to know about that? Go on. Who's yours again? Go on, talk to me.
If anyone's seen me on this channel before, they know I love Joe Worrell, and I finally got to see him at the Lee Wood fight. Of all places, I look over, I'm like, oh my God, that man looks just like Joe Worrell.
Did you faint?
I know. I went over after being forced. I went over and I was like, hi, are you Joe Worrell? Or are you someone who just looks like him? And he was like, no, I am the real Joe Worrell. And then I was like, I love you. I think you're amazing. And then some guy turns up and is like, hey, Joe, how's your mum? And then they start having a chat, and I just stood there waiting, and I never got a photo. And all I said was, "I love you." So I just walked away. It was so embarrassing.
Hey, Laura, if you're watching, next time don't be shy to Elle. Go up to her. She's a crazy person.
And I really upset her some more because I think I had to go for an eye test, and I come out of the opticians, and he was sat outside having a cup of coffee or whatever outside one of the places in Westbridge. And she was, I think you were at uni, weren't you? So I texted, oh, Joe Worrell sat outside whatever it is in West Bridgeford. And she's like, oh, why aren't I there? I'm like, unlucky. Comical.
Yeah.
But man of the match.
In conclusion, despite all things considered, it has to be Johnson. It was just fantastic.
Okay.
It, like I say, affected the game the most. I just don't think there is any other argument.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Johnson overall, but I went on about it earlier, but special mention for the impact that in the first sort of half, particularly Zinckernagel had on the back of that Liverpool miss. Showed good character to come back and play so well, having kind of got a bit more stick, a lot more stick than he did. Yeah, he should have scored the chance, but everybody misses chances, don't they? So definitely John O, but special mention for all of them really, but Zinks as well.
What player was you really impressed with? Come on, you're gonna say Johnson, right? Come on, you're gonna say Johnson.
Yeah. Well, I was impressed with Brennan Johnson. I thought the goalkeeper looked good. I just before I go, I'm just going to tell you.
He didn't do nothing.
Who?
Samba. He didn't do. He could have started his post.
What he did, he looked quite good. I was just going to tell you a little funny story because we're talking about not knowing people, and I thought you just might appreciate this as for a bit of a laugh before we go. But Blackpool signed a player called Sonny Carey. He's a young player we got him from Kings Lynn or something like that in the summer. He's not a bad player, but he's got injured. But his dad was got messaging Jane because he was coming up for Christmas to have like a Christmas dinner. He was asking her like, where can we go for Christmas dinner? So we recommended this place that we were going to, yeah. So they come over to say hello. Right, Sonny Carey and his dad. And I didn't recognize Sonny Carey because you don't know what they look like in like real life, do you? You know, from the like real life, they don't look the same, do they, in real life? So I didn't even know who this guy was in this. They would come because I thought they were just like people who like knew as Lee, Charles TV and Jane, you know, because loads of people just come talking to me all the time, you know, and say, "Hi Lee, all right, how you doing?" I think, I don't know who this is. Right. So we didn't know who he was. And then she told me who he was after they'd gone, and then we tried to find him. I couldn't. Anyway, so to make the story even funnier, we go to Huddersfield, right, which is the next game, just to like boxing, just after New Year. So we're just within a week of this time we meet them in this restaurant, and this bloke comes up to Jane and he's talking to her like he knows her. And she's thinking the same thing. Who is this guy? He's talking to her, and he goes, "You don't know who I am, do you?" She says, "No, sorry." He says, "I'm Sonny Carey's dad."
No.
So he messages her. He messages her after the game. He says, "Next time I see you, I'm going to have a badge on." Says, "I'm Sonny Carey's dad."
Oh, unbelievable.
So yeah, so next time he sees it, he'll have a badge on saying, "I'm Sonny Carey's dad." It's a funny story.
Just reminded me, you're just talking about meeting people and how Lee loves the Oystons so well. Do you know, I actually went to the playoff final at Wembley when Blackpool played Exeter.
All right.
And it was in the same. It's not a funny story. I was in the same room as Carl Oyston because I was invited through something I do, and he is grotesque. Such a horrible man.
Yeah, really well.
I've actually had the unpleasure of meeting him, so I can back up everything you've said.
Yeah, no, they were just, and his dad, you know, was even worse, really. You know, his dad was terrible. You know, Owen Oyston was, oh my God, you know what I mean? He just, they were just so out of touch, and we're just glad they got beat. You know, they could hear the roar.
Let it go.
Honestly, it's hard to let 40 years go. I know you keep saying that, but it's difficult.
Quick question, then.
Quick question. Lee, that fullback, the guy who went off, is he a good player? Because I thought he was decent.
Yeah, but he's on loan, and he's Chelsea, and Dujon Sterling. Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? But you see,
is he on loan? Is he?
He's on loan from Chelsea. Yeah, so we don't, you know. But we didn't have Gabriel in, so we would have had Gabriel and Dujon Sterling, but we had to have. That's what I was saying. You know, we had James Husband in, and he's, you know. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best.
James Husband related to? Is his dad? Was it Tony Husband?
I don't know.
The ex-footballer.
I think I know you're about.
I'm sure I read somewhere.
He might well be. Jordan Gabriel got injured, unfortunately, a few weeks ago, and I think he's out for the remainder of the season, which is kind of sad. And you know,
so
just
where is Gabriel?
We like him. You know, we really like him.
Where's he playing? Which one plays at right back?
Well, really, Jordan Gabriel is right back, and Dujon Sterling is also right back. But our left backs we're all injured, so Dujon Sterling can also play left back. So we had Gabriel on right back, Dujon Sterling's left back. So if Gabriel had been fit, we'd have had Dujon Sterling on Johnson. Do you get what I mean? But we didn't. Okay. We had Husband on Johnson, and to be honest, you know, and you saw, didn't you? Well, you saw it was, you know, he didn't have a good game. You know, I have a guy actually. There's a guy sat a couple of seats away from me, and he looks a bit like Barry Chuckle from the Chuckle Brothers, and my mate Bestie calls him Grumpy Barry Chuckle because he just never stops moaning about anything. And he was laying into Husband like, oh my God, it was every 5 minutes. Husband, get him off! And all this sort of stuff. It was a whole game. So
John what's the Arsenal left back called? Jono rinsed both the Arsenal left backs. He subbed one after about 20 minutes, didn't he? Don't worry about it. Tierney, who's a Scottish international.
Oh yeah. But I would have rather had Dujon Sterling than Husband in that position. I really would.
He's a good company, Husbands.
I just thought Sterling was a good player. He just
he is.
My eye.
We can't keep him. He's just a loanee, you know. That's how we are. That's how we are. But you know, So we are.
Right, but yeah, we've done overtime, people. Because
well, how many people are watching, Door? How many people have you got watching? Tell us how many people you got watching.
143 people have heard your annoying voice. 143 people have heard your annoying voice.
That's bloody good, Door.
That is really good as well. People, before we go,
thank you very much for watching Door on
nearly
Tour.
As many subscribers as I've got, Door.
Right, so people, do me a massive favor.
Plug.
There's 143 people. Please go and subscribe to Des Do Data channel. He's got his Des, talk about it before we go.
It's just my take on everyday life. I do a bit of walking and running and the benefits of that, but it's not about that. It's about giving out sort of feelings and being honest. If I feel rubbish, I'll say I feel rubbish, and I just talk about what I've done. And football, of course, the weekend at Blackpool, things like that. It's not a football channel. It's not a running channel. It's not a mental health channel. It's just a bit of everything, 5-10 minutes every day. Just to positivity and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You have to sort of it's a good. Well, no, we won't go into debating about what's a good channel on YouTube, but you need a niche. People need to know what your channel is. If you're gonna grow a channel, and Door will tell you the same thing and a bit of experience, but you've got to have some sort of niche for it to get any bigger. Because
he has got some niche.
Yeah, that's focus. Focus on that thing that you want it to be, is what I'm saying.
So people.
I'm sorry, I'm giving you a bit of advice, but there you go.
No,
take it if you don't want.
I was taking notes.
You need a niche. You need to. People need to know what they're getting and what they're going to get out of it.
Like a female perspective on football, something like that.
Her game too.
Wait, he knows what. Right, this is the next one I need to, because as people know, that there's lots of her game. It's what is it? Her game football.
Her game too.
Her game two. And Elle, she's represented Nottingham Forest. She's new to Twitter as well, people, and she's represented too. So Elle, tell everyone, what are you doing?
So Her Game 2, it's only been around for about 10 months. It's specifically about getting women into football, and there is especially for in fans and playing, but this is aimed at fans. So sometimes girls go to games and they get a bit of stick. So this is aimed at making it a safer environment for women, making it more friendly, stopping the hate. And if you can, follow it on Instagram or on Twitter. I'll be representing Nottingham Forest and hoping to push for a partnership. We're partnering with lots of clubs to try and really get the movement across, and there will be big things in the future. So definitely watch that space.
We used to have the highest proportion of female supporters in the country at one time.
You did.
I'm sure I read that somewhere.
Well, like I said, people go and follow Elle. Like she's new to Twitter, and I said to her, and Bob made me laugh. He messaged me last week and he wasn't happy with the picture. So
no, right, it's changing.
No. Yeah, but you should put that picture on Twitter because it'll make you grow.
That one, not that one. No. I had tonsillitis and I have no photos of just me in a Forest shirt.
If that was my daughter, right? If that was my daughter, I'll be throwing my phone away out. So that I'm just giving Bob advice. But yeah, people, let's say go on. Please go and follow Elle. She's actually doing Forest stuff as well. And like I said, please go and follow her. Last but not least, we know Leach. He's got his own channel. If no one saw his Nottingham Forest and Blackpool channel,
what's it about?
What's it about? It's about Blackpool FC. That's what it's about. Which is a shit little niche market that nobody's even bothered about. Blackpool, bloody man. And the hat. Hang on a minute. And the hat wants to know, Lee, do I know how much I think Brennan is worth now after watching him? I would say he's worth 9.5 times more than Bowler. How's that? Will that do you? 9.5 times. Is that near enough? I won't give him 10. Stop that. Bloody 10 times.
More now than I ever did.
Right. So now people, please don't give.
He's a good player, honestly, and you're a good team. You're a good team. And you've got quality, and you've got a lot. well, we talked about how much it cost to assemble, didn't we? I think on your show about people saying 40 million, and you've got strength. You're bringing that Grabban. I mean, I watched him on Sunderland till I die, and he was good on there. That Grabban, he really was. In fact, they fell to pieces when they got rid of him, didn't they?
And to be fair, as well, I know Blackpool fans were praising Forest fans for the atmosphere, and I can put my hands up. When Blackpool fans came to Forest, they've been the best way following at the City Ground. So yesterday, I saw a few Blackpool fans say we are the best away following in Blackpool.
You brought probably the most. I think Middlesbrough brought about the same. You had a bit extra, which they don't normally give. You had 3,500, I think, didn't you? Which is that's as much as you can get in. There's allowing there, so you sold all your allocation out, and you were going to be. You were pretty happy. I would say you're the happiest fans to come to Bloomfield Road so far, because nobody's been 3-0 up after half an hour, so you were definitely happiest. You weren't the loudest. Coventry were just like ridiculously loud. They were really loud.
Well, there's this is Lee's.
Is that when you were?
That's off your channel, Lee.
That's off your channel, Lee.
Oh, well, what did it say? I can't see. It's hard.
No,
you should have to look at a phone in a little picture. You're in a little box on my computer with it. I'm trying to look at a phone. I can't even see what it says, mate. Honestly, I'm sorry.
You see that?
Is that you?
Yes.
That's you jumping up and down what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I was on my way to the toilet.
Yeah,
I was on my way to the toilet when we scored, and I was giving it nuts.
Right.
Why don't we open another one of them sections?
I tell you what, it's an honour to get on Lee Charles TV. I had a little kid come up. Doral, you'll understand this, but a little kid comes up to me and he goes, "I was on your channel." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I've got it on my phone." And right. There's some kid talking to me, on his screenshots. There's like a kid talking to me, and then he's like this little head in the background, but he got on, you know what I mean? And I said, I'll get you on proper next time.
I get it all the time. So when people come up to me, I just say my name's Do Daily, Des, because I'm sick of tired of saying DoreOnTour. So my new name's Do Daily now. Because for the last 3 days,
he's not famous anymore.
All I got was it's DoreOnTour. It's DoreOnTour. So my name was
the kids love it.
My name was Do Daily. Subscribe to Do Daily.
Daily. Yeah. But the kids are the future, you know what I mean? They are, and it's good to see them enthusiastic. And in Blackpool, when we got in the Premier League, there was a lot of Tangerine on playgrounds and. There was at that time, there was a lot of like kids wearing Tangerine. And then when it all fell, it was all back to wearing United kits and Liverpool kits and all that. And we're starting to see this, generation again of young fans coming with their dads. And it's lovely. It's lovely.
Before I go, Lee, I forgot there's a Forest fan and he goes on my channel every time and he's a massive fan of you as well, Lee. He wanted to meet you, but I couldn't. My phone wasn't working.
I messaged you and phoned you about 50 times.
No, my phone wasn't working. My phone it's your grand, man. It's your grand. There's no the Wi-Fi's not swearing.
How many missed calls did you have from me? How many texts did you have from me? I'm at your door. I'm outside where I told you I'd be. Outside Stanley. Outside Jimmy Hill's statue. That's where I'll be. I stood there a bloody hour.
I had to babysit Des because, as people know, Des was swerving. Actually,
what are you bringing me into this for?
He's lucky to get in the ground, the state of you.
I don't know how Des got in the ground. He was swerving. But Lee, there's a Forest fan, and he kept saying, "I want to meet Lee." I know, so I thought his name now.
Don't break me heart now, Dor. I'm very sorry too. Whoever he is, I do apologise, but I did try and get hold of Dor and I would have got him on. But
it's your Wi-Fi. It's Blackpool Wi-Fi.
I missed just one last story before I go. I was taking Sebi to his last match before the boycott came and 5 years of not going. And he was like 8 years old and he was asking me about Bloomfield Bear. And he was saying, how's he tie his shoes and all this? And where does he eat? And where's his house? And all this sort of stuff. And the next time I took him, he was like 14. He's been in the academies and he was telling me this player and that player. And I'm thinking, he's not talking about bloody Bloomfield Bear anymore. And I missed all them years. I missed all them years with him from 8 years old to 14, and you never get them back. So go, to anybody out there who's got, a young boy, it doesn't matter if you're going to ruin their life and make them, it doesn't matter.
Or girl.
Or girl. Yeah. In fact, my mate, Bestie, he sits with his little girl. Yeah,
plug. That's a plug.
Bring your daughters on.
There's a blog right
It's a
there,
great
yeah.
thing. It's just a great thing, and I talk to my dad like every day about football. You know what I mean? It was a father-son journey that I'll never, I'll never forget, and I'll never. And I interviewed a lady. It's on my channel. Her dad died at the Fulham game. I don't know if you've watched it, but a fan got a heart attack and he died. And then the Blackpool medics were over first, and she was very thankful to all the work they'd done. So she wanted to come up to Blackpool to thank the medical team, and the fans arranged for her to come to Blackpool. And I've done an interview with her, and it's you should watch it. If you're a dad, we're all the same. We might all support different clubs, and we might be Derby, we might be Preston, but at the end of the day, we're all just football fans, and we all just love watching it. And if you can go with your dad, it's a million memories. I have memories of my dad that I'll never forget, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, people, we get going. Like I said, people, subscribe to Des, subscribe to Lee Charles, go and follow Al on Twitter as well, people. And last but not least, I forgot to mention it. We've got it's a month away now. Kevin Campbell event, Thursday, the 28th of April.
Who?
The legend, you know what?
I'm kidding. I know you've been telling me about it forever, Dore. I know. You've got.
Right, so why don't you get off your backside, right? You get off your backside and come to Kevin Campbell event. You get special treatment from Des. Des will give you. Des will look after you.
I'm sure he will after tonight.
Right, so people, Thursday, 28th of April, Kevin Campbell is coming. Please go and get your tickets. The link is below. It's going to be a fantastic event, and it's going to be live on my channel as well. It's £65 VIP, £20 for standard ticket as well. So please, the link below. Go on, get your ticket as well.
It's all for charities. A lot of it's charity.
You know what, Des? Talk about your charity, Des. What's it for?
Tell them about it. Sounds.
Yeah, so basically we're doing it for 2 children's charities. You were speaking about kids there and things like that. So we're doing it for, what's Lisa's charity called? Footprints.
Footprints.
And a charity called Childhood First, who's a charity I'm running the London Marathon this year for. They give disadvantaged kids who don't have the best start in life, a real opportunity. So whilst Dore is encouraging people to come along, and we want as many people there as possible, it would be great if people could buy a virtual ticket if they can't. Where Kevin Campbell's kindly said he'd leave them a message, a thank you message, and get in touch with them on Twitter to do that. So there's just an option there. We want you there, of course, because it's going to be a brilliant evening. But there's a chance to donate to those 2 amazing charities and sort of get involved that way and get a nice message of thank you from Kevin Campbell. And again, we're just doing it just to sort of support kids however we can.
Okay, so people, like I said, the link is below. If you want a virtual ticket, please donate to the channel. Right, it's been a fantastic channel. I'm not rattled Lee. I think I have.
I do like the comment down there that you've not mentioned, but DJ Campbell's dad, I think.
I don't care about DJ Campbell. I don't really care about, because he's a prick. And for making me cry. He made me cry. I don't care. He made me cry. The playoff.
He did.
Semi-final. He made
let
me
it go.
Cry.
Let it go.
I will never let him go. I put him there and I keep punching him. He's annoying. I'm not going to do it. Sorry, I'm not going to do it.
No,
right, people, it's been a pleasure.
On that screen there.
Yeah, he's a prick. Right.
Probably a really nice man.
He's a bellend to me. I'm not. I'm joking. He made me cry. He made me cry. Actually, it made me cry. But yeah, we've been people. It's been a pleasure.
Just banging it in there.
I don't care about him. Right, people. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to everyone.
It's been good.
You know what? Don't subscribe to Lee. He's so annoying. We beat you 4-1.
But yeah, you'll be happy, Dore.
Yeah, Des, are you going to the game tomorrow? The under 18s as well.
Yes.
Right, people.
Oh yeah.
Are you 2 going, Molly L? You going?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
The semi-final of the under 18s tomorrow.
Forrst under 18s as well. I'll be there as well. Should I vlog it?
I think you should. I
think Des could be on my camera.
Do like a mini one.
Des, you can be on my cameraman, Des, so you can. Des will be there as well. Yeah. Now I've had enough of Des. I've had 3 days of it. No more Des. Right, people. And I get going. Thank everyone for watching. Thank you.
It's been a great show. Subscribe to DoreOnTour. Subscribe to and follow her.
Yeah,
follow on Twitter and do all the things and support your event. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'll be back on...
Up the Reds. Up the Reds. 50 million he's worth. 50 million.
All right. People, and make sure you have a good week. Peace
100 million for Bowler.
Shut up, Lee.